I was reading a work from the 1830s and I came across the word houri. I said, well, that sounds vaguely familiar. So I looked it up, and Wikipedia said that it's commonly translated as splendid companion for humans in Islam that enter paradise. So I said, this is the famous 72 virgins that I've heard about but never actually read or knew what it was. So I got out my Quran, and with the help of a quick Google search, I found the following passage, which is in the chapter named The Tidings. It's 78, 30, I think. As for the righteous, they shall surely triumph. Theirs shall be gardens and vineyards, and high-bosomed maidens for companions, truly an overflowing cup. They said, goodness gracious, large breasts. I probably heard about the Quran having this kind of stuff in it before, but I'd never read it for myself and thought that was kind of weird. Well, I have another version of the Quran. The first one that I read from was the Penguin Classics edition, so I figured that's a pretty reputable source. I looked up N.J. Dawood, and he's an Iraqi. He's a native Arabic speaker, so maybe he knows what he's talking about. I have another Quran that I received from a local Islamic congregation in my city when they came to do an interfaith talk, summit, little interfaith group. They had people from different religions in town, and they got together, and the Islamic folks in town gave out this Quran. It's by Tariq Tarsile Quran Incorporated out of Elmhurst, New York. This was printed in 2006. In the introduction, the publisher here has some material that says that this edition by Abdullah Yusuf Ali is closest to a perfect translation, and that its word choice is closest to the original meaning of the text. The translator for this Quran is Abdullah Yusuf Ali, who is actually a Shia from Bombay, which is kind of surprising. And I'm going to find the same passage and read it. Okay, and again, this is from the local group's Quran. Verily, for the righteous there will be a fulfillment of the heart's desires. Gardens enclosed and grapevines, companions of equal age, and a cup full to the brim. And one more time back to the Penguin version. As for the righteous, they shall surely triumph. Theirs shall be gardens and vineyards, and high-bosomed maidens for companions, a truly overflowing cup. There's clearly some sanitization going on in one version. One clearly mentions large round breasts, and the other one doesn't. If you go to Wikipedia, you can see there's kind of a mini controversy on this on the page for Houris. So there's several Quranic commentators who talk about this issue. There's a bunch of different translations from different people who translate it in different ways, but the overwhelming number of scholars appear to translate these passages as referring to the Houris' breasts and how they're large or properly proportioned or just great in general. We're going to do this comparison again with a different example. So I'm in the Penguin edition. I'm in chapter 56, entitled That Which Is Coming. 56, 15 or 16. They shall recline on jeweled couches face to face, and there shall wait on them immortal youths with bowls and ewers and a cup of purest wine, that will neither pain their heads nor take away their reason, with fruits of their own choice and flesh of fowls that they relish. And theirs shall be the dark-eyed Houris, chaste as virgin pearls, a guerdon for their deeds. Okay, and let's do the same thing from the Abdullah Yusuf Ali edition. They will be on thrones encrusted with gold and precious stones, reclining on them, facing each other. Round about them will serve youths of perpetual freshness, with goblets, shining beakers, and cups filled out of clear flowing fountains. No afterache will they receive therefrom, nor will they suffer intoxication. And with fruits, any that they may select, and the flesh of fowls, any that they may desire. And there will be companions with beautiful, big, lustrous eyes, like unto pearls well guarded, a reward for the deeds of their past life. You thought I was going to say breasts, right? No, okay, it was just eyes. The difference I wanted to point out between these two parts of the translation is that Dawood says in heaven they're going to drink wine that doesn't make them drunk, and Abdullah Yusuf Ali says that they're going to drink liquid from clear fountains, which just sounds like water. But he still has to translate the part about how it won't make them drunk or cause intoxication. And I've never drunken from a fountain that made me, intoxicated. So it really doesn't even make sense. It's clear that there's some sanitization going on. So why make a video comparing two different translations of some obscure passages in the Quran? I'm going to link to a video that shows Bill Maher talking to Keith Ellison, who's a big shot in the Democratic Party these days and was almost the chairperson of the DNC. I think he's vice chair right now. Bill Maher asked Keith Ellison some questions about Islam and some questions about the Quran that were critical, and Keith Ellison's response was, "You're using a bad translation." Bill Maher, to his credit, said, "That's what Muslims always seem to tell me." So for any of the central issues of our day, I think it would do us credit that if we're going to talk about these things, go and do a little bit of primary research on your own, and don't just stick with one version of a book. Go look at a couple different ones. If you're reading something by Marx to brush up on Marxism, see if you can find a second translation and probably help you out, whether you're supporting it or against it. So just to wrap this up, if you care about an issue enough to have a conversation with someone else about it and maybe be critical, do it the right way and do your own first-hand primary research, and don't limit yourself to just one source. You'll have better discussions with other people, and you won't be proved wrong later when someone comes along and starts dissecting what you said.